Welcome back, Belito, and thank you for staying tuned. I'd love to welcome our first guest on today's show, the ever inspirational Claudia Greenwood.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Awesome. Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice and warm out here.
Oh, absolutely. We're glowing, aren't we?
There we go, Durban being Durban.
Yes.
So, Claudia, I believe you'd like to talk about self-worth today.
Yes.
Introduce us to this.
Thanks, Diego. So often what we experience in life is that we're trying to show up for other people. And the question is, how much are we prepared to compromise ourselves to prove to other people that we are different to what we actually are? And so often we actually just give up on our own personal values for that. We start engaging and doing things that we wouldn't normally do. They don't necessarily feel good, or we know deep down that they're not aligned to how we would normally react or
your
behave.
values, your morals.
Exactly. And then we get involved in all sorts of things because it makes us feel good. Maybe we think it makes us look cool, or we're accepted that way, and we just engage in all sorts of things that are actually maybe detrimental to ourselves, whether it's from a health point of view, physical health, mental health, maybe it affects relationships. But when we're caught up in this whole narrative of what we've taken on throughout our lives, we take in information from people and surrounds and what we see, and we suddenly create a story in our minds that we need to behave in a certain way, or we need to do certain things to be accepted. Now, when we do that, we're actually going against our own personal values, and normally this is backed up by fear. We are afraid to show up as the people who are, our authentic self, how we are meant to be. And in so doing, we get involved in stuff that sometimes we've got to actually stand back and say, well, how long am I going to go on doing this for before I actually realize that this is not me?
Yeah, which one is greater, the fear of rejection or the fear of acceptance and standing up for yourself and who you are?
Yes, absolutely. And Diego, it's quite a difficult thing to do, because when we're telling ourselves a story about ourselves that is different to actually who we are, because we're trying to fit in or show up as we think other people want to see us, then we've lost ourselves in some way or another. But the most amazing thing is that can all be changed.
Yeah.
All right? We can do the deep inner work and actually realize, connect with what deep down, it's an intuition. What I'm actually doing right now, whatever, isn't right. Or it's not actually me. This isn't how I want to be, or this is not what I want to be involved in. And actually go with that, because that intuition is bigger than just the story we've created in our minds. So what's important is just to stand back and actually get to a point of reassessing. Where am I at? How long am I going to allow myself to be caught up in this different way of being? Because you're not going to satisfy everybody, are you?
No. And you've got to take stock emotionally sometimes. Just take that break, take a step back, and look at your life, where you're going, what you want to do. How would you say social media has impacted what you're talking about now? A lot of people tend to post their perfect lives and their perfect moments all the time, and a lot of people feel like this is the standard that they need to live up to and work to. Would you say that that's had an effect in people's view of their self-worth and their behavior?
Absolutely, Diego. And I hear it so often from clients who say, I've actually blocked or stopped or deleted my social media account. I'm actually not even spending time on that anymore, because it's addictive and it becomes consuming, and you can't wait to see what the next person's posting, and then we do start comparing. But you see, this is where that internal dialogue, that narrative comes in terms of our own mind. What are we telling ourselves? Because we're comparing ourselves, and we're saying that's how we judge ourselves. And then we start seeing that other people have so apparently got this perfect life. And maybe we say, well, I don't have the perfect life because I'm not showing up like that. Okay,
No.
so either I'm going to start pretending and becoming a person that I'm not, and doing things that isn't actually me.
Or that affect your self-worth.
It affects my self-worth, but that's why. If your self-worth is low and you don't see your value, you are going to start reaching out to doing things and being involved in stuff to show up how you think other people want to see you. And that's unfortunately where we lose ourselves completely.
Claudia, What a great point to end on, and I think it's something we can all learn from, is that we have to give our inner dialogue just as much importance as we give the outer. Thank you so much for the wisdom.
Pleasure.
Have a
Thank you.
fantastic day ahead. And Belito, stay tuned. We'll be back after this short break.